Happy Dragon Week, everybody! This is an event where all of us TTRPG content creators are coming together to make a video all on about the same topic. It's basically the D&D version of Shark Week, but somehow nerdier. And today, I'm going to be joining in on the fun with not one, but two dragon-themed subclasses for D&D 5th edition. If you're new to this channel, welcome to Mr. Dice Guy. My name is Joe. I love to make videos about D&D and give out homebrew that you could take to your table. So, thanks for rolling in. When they first announced that we're going to do Dragon Week, I was really excited. Dragons are one of my favorite fantasy things, both in and out of D&D. In fact, my first imaginary friend was a dragon named Drago. Good to know that I'm just about as good as making names as a kid as I am as a GM. Each campaign that I've ever run, or honestly have spent any time playing, has always had a dragon or two. And for those reasons, it's kind of bugged me that D&D has sort of an absence of dragon options for players. Granted, I know we have the Dragonborn, but even after Fizban's Treasuries of Dragons, we still only have less than a third of the classes in D&D having a dragon-themed subclass. So that's why I decided that for Dragon Week, I would introduce these subclasses so that this way we could start filling that gap. The subclasses I'll be showing you today are the Dragon Slayer Barbarian and the College of Roars Bard, created by yours truly. And to address the elephant in the room, or maybe this week it should just be a dragon in the room, both of these subclasses are going to be compatible with the 2014 and the 2024 version of 5th edition. So without further ado, let's jump right into the Path of the Dragon Slayer Barbarian. Dragon Slayers are more complex than just people that hate dragons and are out to get them, though the power they use was originally created for that purpose. Dragon Slayers aim to fight fire with fire, or even lightning with lightning. They seek to harness the power of the elements commonly used by dragons, learn to move like one, adapt to the harsh environments that a dragon would live in, and eventually overpower them. If this sounds like the anime fairy tale to you, kinda. At level 3, you get the feature Slayer's Might. This allows you to choose an element between acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison, and add a d4 of damage to the attacks you make, which translates to 2d4 while you're raging. You can change out this damage type between rests, so as long as you're preparing for the day ahead, you'll be adaptive offensively to be able to tackle any challenge that comes your way. At level 6, you get Draconic Movement. Dragons, like most legendary creatures, have the ability to do things between their turns in combat, such as make an attack, move around, or other things. So this feature takes a page out of the dragon's book and allows you to make something of a pseudo-legendary action between turns. At the start of each round of initiative, you could do one of three things. You can choose to either make a weapon attack, move up to half your speed without provoking an opportunity attack, or simply regain an expended reaction. And to make you even more of a threat, your damage die for Slayer's Might is going to increase from a d4 to a d6, and that damage ignores resistance. So when something like a water weird scoffs at you for using fire damage, you'll be able to turn the tables by starting to boil them. At level 10, you get the ability Slayer's Resistance. This feature mimics the protective nature of a dragon's lair, except it now applies to you and your allies. Your current choice of Slayer's Might is going to give you some protection against things you might encounter in lairs similar to the dragons of a similar type. For example, if you choose cold damage, you'll be able to lessen the movement impairing effects that you might encounter in a white dragon's lair. And if that's not enough, while you're raging, you and your allies are going to get resistance to the damage you chose with Slayer's Might. And the final feature you get at level 14 is called Legendary Dragon Slayer. This feature boosts the power of Slayer's Might from a d6 to a d8, and instead of just ignoring resistances, you totally bypass immunity. Imagine an ice so frigid that it could give frostbite to a yeti. So if you're ever facing down something like a red dragon, for example, and you chose fire, your party is going to gain resistance to their breath weapon, and then you'll be able to turn the tables on them when they experience the pain of a burn for the first time. So yeah, a barbarian that deals more damage actually can support their allies and can beat a dragon at their own game. We love that. Next, let's move on to the College of Roars Bard. And to help illustrate it, I'll just play this for you. Yes, the College of Roars Bard was inspired by Skyrim. I won't even try to pretend that it's not. I appreciated the simpler times of 2011. Bards of the College of Roars are basically dragon fanboys. And like a dragon, they try to be loud and boisterous. The perfect fit for the face of the party. Correct! You start off with 3 features at level 3. because we know how much bards love 3rd level features. The first you get is Dragon Song, which gives you the Draconic language, and if you cast a bard spell with a verbal component, you can ignore the material component required unless it specifies a cost. Then you also get the feature Booming Echoes, which gives you the Thaumaturgy cantrip that you can cast as a bonus action. And while you're under the effects of Thaumaturgy, where it increases the volume of your voice, you can then triple the range of any bard spell or bard feature that you use. So you'll be able to cast something like Vicious Mockery from afar. And then the main feature that you get for this subclass at level 3 is Bardic Roar. And I'll just be real with you, it's shouts. You can expend a Bardic Inspiration to make a roar, which allows you to use one of 4 different types of effects that either hinder your enemies on the battlefield or buff your allies. Astonishing Roar can inflict the Charmed, Deafened, or Frightened condition. Bolstering Roar gives out temporary HP to your allies. And then Hastening Roar increases your allies' movement speeds and then allows them to avoid opportunity attacks. And last is Unbalancing Roar. I'll just play this to show you what it does. This feature works very well with both versions of the 5th edition Bard, though I think you get a little bit more mileage out of the 2024 version simply because you can use Bardic Inspiration more reliably. Next up is the level 6 feature, Roaring Obstruction. Your roars are beginning to unsettle your enemies. Whenever you force a saving throw through one of your Bard spells or Bard features, such as Bardic Roar, you'll be able to increase the DC of that save by rolling your Bardic Inspiration die.
Hi there, Editor Joe here. I just wanted to make a quick correction. I said Bard spells in this previous part, but it actually applies to all spells. So if you're multiclassing, it applies to that too.
This is going to make the battlefield control hindering enemies' abilities that you do as a Bard more reliable and more powerful. And as a kicker, if any of your allies have your Bardic Inspiration die, they can expend that die to use this same ability on their own stuff. So whether they're martial trying to grapple an enemy, or there's something like a wizard trying to cast a spell and they need to make sure it's effective, they can use their Bardic Inspiration die to increase the DC. And the last feature you get at level 14 is Inspiration Horde. Like I mentioned before, this Bard is boisterous and they're loud, and they're hoping that not only will they be able to show how inspiring they can be, they hope you'll be able to talk about that too. And to make sure that someone's always talking about them, anytime their Bardic Inspiration die is rolled, the die is rolled twice, and the result of both is added together. And what's more, when you expend your Bardic Inspiration die, if you ever roll 2 of the same number, you regain all your Bardic Inspiration. So not only will you be incentivized to actually use your Bardic Inspiration more often, now everyone's going to be wanting to use it themselves. So you're going to have groupies. And so that's it. I hope you enjoyed the Path of the Dragon Slayer and the College of Roars. They are available for free. Down in the description, there's a link to a Google Doc which will take you to a PDF that you'll be able to download to take to your tables. And as I always say, at Mr. Dice Guy, we love our GMs and the worlds that they craft, so make sure to take this to your GM and see if they allow homebrew in their campaigns, and be open to any adaptations that they make to this subclass should you bring it to them. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like below and consider subscribing to Mr. Dice Guy. I love homebrew, and I love giving it out. So check out my other videos and see if there's anything that you might like and you might want to play with at your table. And again, happy Dragon Week. And a big thank you to Ginny D and Pointy Hat for putting on this event again. I'm really looking forward to the next one. If you haven't already, make sure to check out other creators' Dragon videos too. I know that this week I'm going to have a lot to binge. But that's all that I have for today. So until next time, thanks for rolling in.